This has been taking so long. So long. Ah, how are you? We'll go on in. Friday, right? Friday. I think that's the Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. Um. I hope you're good. I hope your week was good. All that thing, the usual, you know. And yeah. Let me set up all that. As always, I'm late. The computer decided to do like a forced update. That uh, Sassy, it's night for me. It is currently 6:30. So 6:30 at night, not 6:30 in the morning. So yeah, it's not morning, but it's morning for you. I mean, morning-ish for you, right? It's like 12, around 12, right? Or am I just absolutely out of the time zone? But we'll come on in nonetheless. Nonetheless. But yeah, no, it's the computer said can't connect to camera, so I said okay, reboot. And then when I rebooted, it said thank you for installing Windows, as if it was the first time. Cat, hi, how is you? Everything all right? Do you want to chat about it? Do you not want to chat about it? All that, I want to know. But I hope you're good. I hope you are good, Cat. Hope it was not too painful. I'm dying. Sorry, it's that like everyone. Am I? Yeah, kind of same, so I agree. I agree. We have a lot to do today, but also we have nothing to do today. You know, that's the usual thing that we have. Andra, hi, welcome on in, welcome back. How are you? How have you been? You're still alive. Yes, it is still alive. How is you? Too tired to be sad? It will be fine. It will be fine. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I will just jump straight in. COVID, fine. At least you're here now, and as you say, alive. So I guess that's good, innit? Straight up. But still alive, yeah. I hope it's not like a long form. Was it the first time or was it the second time? Do you know? Do you not know? Had it once already, you probably know if it's not the first time. First time, okay. So if it's the first time that you have symptoms, then it's fine, right? You are okay. Just make sure that you do your best to not catch it a second time. Aiden, hi. How are you? How was your week? So the thing that we've seen right now from scientists and all that is because you will inevitably catch it multiple times. The first one is the hardest on your system, but then the second and third time you have some type of long-lasting things that can happen to your internals. So be careful on the next drop. I hope the next drop doesn't happen. That's basically what I'm saying. But yeah, Aiden, I saw you were. So I was in here, right, as always, and then I saw that you popped up right there, and I saw that, and I don't know, like 20 minutes ago, maybe. Complicated, much complicated. But yeah. Mom's tea? What do you mean, mom's tea? You stopped streaming 25 minutes ago? Damn. That's. What do you mean you didn't know that I have the thing automated for you? I have the thing automated for a lot of people. But yeah, I see you were using Figma. Nice. Nice. Anyways. I kept some inspiration things on the side so that we can start with something. And some of the inspiration that we have, for example, the Oppo Reno 8 trailer, it really worked well with the new trends that I've been chatting about, which is a lot of companies are using like 3D to market their things. So, yeah. Nice. Who rated you, if you know? Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. I just love all of the... Oh, Khalil rated you. Nice. Good timing. Good timing. All of these are really interesting in terms of research and design overall. I just love that. So, as always, right, 3D things like this are here to inspire you to get things done. It doesn't mean that it will be the exact thing that you need to do, but that might just give you a bit of how can I say that? Of a hint of something to do. Pasnik, hi. There is no sub on the chat. It should have been disabled, but...
Andrew underscore K teach eardex 30, Andrew 2 bits.
Maybe that's why. I am sorry. That's a mistake on my own. But thanks a lot. Should have been automated, but it hasn't been working. Thanks a lot, and welcome on in at the same time. No, thank you. Andra, thanks a lot for the bits. I appreciate it as well. Lot of things happening at the same time right now. What do you mean had an accident today? Kat, do you need to design or do you need to organize? Because that's a different thing. But Pasnik, or Panic, I guess. Pasnik, Panic. Are you French? That kind of sounds French. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? All that. I want to know. And they didn't let me check. It didn't. Nothing is set today. Everything is late. I am late. Oh, accident indeed. Not so good. So are you French? Name is French. From Pass. Is Nick your last name? Like the start of your last name? I don't want to dox you anyways, but it could be. It could be. Also, glasses are just fucked today. So yeah, just right. Indeed. Pascal Nicolas, très français. Nom très français. Bienvenue. Welcome from Chile. Yeah, Chile. Chile, kind of same, right? Just yeah. Okay, Cat. How about we test out Twitch Studio on your side? How about that? I don't know. I know you don't want to, but could be interesting. Could be very interesting. I get it. Yeah, you lose a lot of things with Twitch Studio, but you gain a lot of stability. So, Aiden, how about you test Twitch Studio? Sorry.
Is now following.
Z, welcome on in. How are you? Thanks a lot for following. I don't know. I think you were following, but maybe sometimes just Twitch is fucking up things. So the Pasnik, the Twitch Studio thing is. Let me go here. So, OBS is the tool that we use to stream. That's the original thing, right? However, the amount of power that OBS is requiring, specifically when you are streaming from a laptop or a Mac, is higher than everything else. And so Twitch Studio is an app that is based on OBS, but it has like an overall limited amount of power consumption, and it's better for smaller streams. So,
Stony_Eagle just resubscribed for 6 months. AAOA shocked, AAOA shocked, AAOA shocked, AAOA shocked, AAOA shocked, AAOA shocked.
Stony, thanks a lot for the resub. I appreciate it. For 6 fucking months. That's a lot. Oh, so the reason why I'm invested in selling it, not selling it because it's basically free, is mainly because I mean, I haven't been in Aiden's stream yet enough to know, but I know that Cat has some lags here and there with their stream, and so I kind of want to have something that is more stable. So that's why I'm like selling it. But also, I think, and that's a very weird thing, but if, like, I think that Twitch overall has some views in the direction they want to go with some of the product that they have, and the more people we have that uses Twitch Studio, the the more support it will get in the future, even though I'm still thinking that Twitch overall will die at some point. It's... By the way, I'm sorry, you will lose me for a second, that's just fucking me up. I made a mistake. I can't. This fucking chat thingy, it's just... I don't understand how it's just popping in every now and then. Anyways, so yeah, because I think that for now, Twitch Studio is a very limited app, but still the best option for Mac streamers and some very specific type of use cases. Like if I'm going on like an IRL stream with a laptop, or I'm traveling, I will probably just have like a Twitch Studio install on my Mac rather than the whole thing that I have, which is like a PC and a Mac and all that bitch ass thing. And so I'm just thinking in terms of support for the long term for Twitch. If there are more people that use it, then there is a higher chance that people will, inside of Twitch, people will continue to support it. So that's why I'm pushing for it. But other than that, it's not the best option. It's just the most viable option when you have like a mid-range PC. So that's why I'm pushing for it. I missed a lot of shit. So Aiden, yes, if you're on 28.02, you may not have the ability to use Stream Effects. So, but the latest OBS is better than the current one. I mean, the current one that I'm using. I'm just waiting for plugin support to make the update. Will happen soon. That will happen soon. And the fuck and the technically are linked to my mic. So every time that I say it, it's just triggered and it goes through. So that way we have the counter that goes in. That's how it. Yeah, that's how it is. It's not using the closed caption though. It could, but too much work. Anyways, the thing that I was saying here, right, is getting inspired by things that are not exactly on the type of work that you're doing. So right now I'm watching 3D stuff, marketing stuff for a phone, and I am more of a UI based designer, so not really related, but it still gave me some ideas on shadows and things. Smile explosion, hi, how are you? How have you been? How was your day? How was your week? All that. So yeah, I like that. Then I keep this one mainly for colors, but also gradient. I don't know. Just clicked on it. I didn't look at it yet, so not that good. This is great though. This is so extremely biased here. That brings back memory of mechanic and all the thing that we used to build with acrylic. And so this is really clean pieces, even though molded and milled at the same time. It's really interesting to see, even though 3D, right? But that looks neat. It's mechanical, aesthetic. I like that. Denny, hi. You said something earlier, and I didn't say anything. Welcome on in, first of all. Fuck. Tired already. But I'm good, Denny. Thanks for asking. I'm just waiting for Phil to give me content, or Genie to give me content for the stream. No, we'll see. We'll see who is here. The textures looks good, right? And as always, because I'm a big ass sucker for glass and transparent 3D, this is exactly like what I would create if I had the skills, which is not the case right now. But yeah, I like that. This was logo animation. I haven't looked at it. It's not good. Midnight. Well, I hope this time I would be out at midnight, but you know what? It's Friday officially, so we can go overboard a bit. Maybe, I don't know. This morning I slept in. It's like even my alarm didn't wake me up, which is something that usually never happens. But it's just like, or maybe did, and I woke up, turned it off, and then fall back asleep. I don't know. But the alarm is at like 7, and then you know, we'll go on in. And I just woke up back at like 9:20 or something. It's just like 2 hours later, so I needed more sleep. How do you pronounce the male in owner? Well, like this. Homeowner. Through this. Hi, we'll go on in. This is an interesting thing. It reminds me of what we did on Stony's website, right? We have the one corner radius and then the rest is flat. So that's the thing. Stony, is the dev section up, or does it need to reboot? Because I still have some ID from yesterday that I need to take a look at, and I haven't. Good. Fruitis, that's good news. That is great news. So, let me tell you this right now. Every time you receive a no, it's a good news. Remember that. Every time you apply for some jobs or something and they say no, it's a good news. They have that the news is you wouldn't have been the right fit for them, and they let you know that you wouldn't have been the right fit for them at that instant. It doesn't mean that you can't. Ashley, hi, welcome on in. How was your week? How was your day? It doesn't mean that you can't work there at some point. It just means that at that instant you are not the right candidate. So keep the no's that you receive as a positive thing, even if it's like it's been 2 years and you've been only receiving no's, in which case I hope you like think about, I mean, before that, but anyways, just think of them as at least they contacted you and they did the work of making sure that you were aware that they don't want to go with you at that point. Because in some other interviews that I had, for example, in the past, we had no idea of if I was a good candidate, not a good candidate. They just ghosted me and didn't receive an answer. So no is better than nothing. Yes is better than no. But in the grand scheme of things, most of them are just ghosting you anyway. So yeah, they still respect you, so that's a good thing. It means that the company is good and that you can reapply later if that's the thing. But for example, every time that I apply at Apple as either a designer or on store or repair tech, I have never received any no. I have only received nothing. So, right, that's the thing. So, but they are big companies, so I also get it. Anyways, yeah. So, Fruitus, that's a good. That is a good point as well. Pim King, hi, welcome on in. How are you? Welcome back from yesterday. Have a good lurk at the same time. So yeah, the chat is now in Italian. I agree with that. That's also a good point. You have like direct contact, so that's a good thing. But also sometimes getting the overall like flow is good. So I hope that helps. There are a lot. We have a lot of Italians lately that just pops in, and specifically because this is soap. Yes, this is good looking soap branding packaging thing. So Ashley was on vacation, came back at the beginning of the week, if I remember correctly. Kat has been coming through for the past basically 3 weeks every time. Then he came back since Seke came back, basically. And so we have more and more Italian coming in. So that's fun. I still won't learn Italian. I won't speak Italian. Can't do that. Following since... you are following since... December 31st, 2021, so January 1st, 2022. So basically less than a year. Interesting. But yeah, anyways, you're not annoying everyone. You're asking questions and being extremely helpful. So yeah. Grazie is a thing that I can say. Yes, that's true. That is true. Anyways, the topic was getting inspired by other things. So this is packaging, soap packaging specifically. And I don't know, I felt like it was interesting to showcase this because the color scheme is interesting if you are a brand that is earth-toned type of thing, and also very like eco-friendly. Can use some of these, but also the inspiration here is mainly for the layout. For me, I have that thing that I implemented in Stoney's website, right? The one corner radius, but also that deconstructed thing that I kind of wanted to have on the cards. So that's a similar thing. Really, really interesting. Overall, the logo is probably made in Figma or something. Yeah, probably. It has like a weird ass link in the middle that I don't like. But I like that. No, I mean, Sony, yes, I agree. That I recommend it. Just a recommendation. Indeed, not implemented. I did wrote a single line of code, but not on the. I mean, more than one, to be honest, but not on the app itself. More on the login thing. Maybe at some point I could write lines of code in the app itself. I don't know. Maybe that can happen. This is motion design based. I really love motion design videos and reels just to see how things have been created, but also that reminds me of all the things that I used to do, and it's been a while. It's been a while, but we like that. Motion design is a good base of inspiration if you are looking for micro interaction in your apps. So you can look at micro interaction case studies and research that are based on apps design and website design, but then you are focused and forced to think to the extent of what has been created for these specific things. When you're looking for Illustrator and animated reels, you then get a wider range of animation available to you, and so you can just say, oh, let me check that out and see if I can recreate something very similar in my UI. So that's an interesting thing as well. And Friedrich, you said, so I decided to apply to companies that have iOS Android app development to get the experience. Yeah, so it can be the right way. However, the main issue, I would say, if they only do Android and iOS apps, is the next time that you apply to an agency or something else and they say, well, we were looking for someone who have the knowledge of web design, then you are now rusty in web design. So it's a good method to get the experience on mobile and apps, but still, right? The best is, if you want to do something that is with everything, try to find an agency that does mobile and website, but also you can find like a SaaS like type of company, right? A startup type that just gives you one product that is available on desktop and mobile. That can be a thing. So you can look at that. It's an option. And then I clicked on this one because this is Art Deco type packaging, labels, design. Always a good thing. Every time there is gold, always good. But specifically fine line and geometric fine lines on these types of bottles are very interesting. I mean, very interesting. Or good, I would say. We just had a flicker, so let me check. Am I good? I am good. Interesting. So this fucking thing have a color that just that display doesn't like. That music is very loud, very low. Anyways, so yes, I do love packaging. As I said multiple times, packaging is really interesting in the way that they fold things and place things here and there. I use packaging as inspiration for most of my cards design. So right now I clicked on the thing and it didn't do shit. Oh. Behance is dead or what? I don't know. Right, this thing right here, for example, is a good representation of a card that could be used on a website. Maybe a website for liquids, but it's always a good and really interesting thing to get, like these tiny details. If you can see on stream, it's a bit harder, but there is a bit of a bump, like embossed feel. So the label is going deeper here and higher here. So there is like a bit of 3D texture here, and then the gold foil is physically pressed to the paper. So there is a lot of texture in there. And so if you have or recreate something with a bit of depth and a bit of highlight here and there, and the little details of how the dividers are, rather than being like singular lines like a lot of people will do, like you do dotted lines for dividers that can just create characters in your overall UI. And so that's an interesting trait to potentially follow. I mean, you do whatever you want, but that's a thing. So take that in mind. And then this one is also a motion design thing based on type, and I liked it because it's very colorful, very cute, very cute. Lots of fonts, which is always good, always good. As always, this person seems to have a lot of animation things, and so you can go back in there on their page and see if they have other things that matches with you. So this one, it seems similar. They have like a pattern of colors and fonts that they use. That could be interesting for, I don't know, something else. You could hire them. They are not too expensive for you. And that could be great. Sorry, I'm thinking in stream overlay right now, but these transitions right there could be amazing. I know that White Panther had a thing that could 100% use something like this. I don't know if they have. Let me check, because maybe yes. Maybe yes. Let me see if we have shit on that section. I don't think we do. No, we don't. Damn it. I want to showcase it every time, but I will at some point. I will find it. I will ask them to send me a clip. It will be better. Looks a bit weird on the on that side. Yeah. I don't know if I would trust. I don't know if I would trust someone who has Illustrator here for print, which if they have Illustrator, they probably also have InDesign, and so print would be on InDesign. But then something here that seems to be Adobe XD. I don't know. Yeah. Complicated. But that's great. That's a good. It's a thing that I've been seeing on a lot of team, where they have like tiny animated stuff for the presentation. So these are just looping videos, looping GIFs, right there. Very, very clean. And I love how black the hoodies are. It just blends in with the rest of the page. That's a nice detail. I like that section a lot. I like that section a lot. Yeah, that's neat. And then this is just you know, if I could have something, you know, if I could have like an animation with something that just rotates in the background, right? Just does a rotation rather than the current background thingy that I have, if I could have something like this that has like a, like instead of the cursor to take something different, maybe I could do that, but I don't know. I like it though. It's fun. So yeah, these I like because of the color scheme and the fonts. There is a lot of work that has been made to make the font work, and these are things that I can't do at the moment. I mean, I can do it, but it's just would take so much time compared to, I believe, the amount of time that takes this person, because they know how to do that. So yeah, really cool for inspiration, in my views. I think it's pretty nice. All good. So as always, that was Behance clicks. Now, as we do on Fridays, we have the Dribble homepage review. So do it as many times as we can. We go to the the popular tab on Dribble, and we just scroll once to see what is new, and then I clicked on some things, not all the things, and then we explain why it is on the popular page, or why I think it's on the popular page. Doesn't mean I'm right? It's just what I can see, why it's there, why it could be there. So of course, we'll click on one of these because we need at least one, if not more. That's neat. Interesting things here. That makes sense, but we know exactly why, so no need to explain. And yep, that's it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What? 12. Fuck, I can't count. We have 12 things. We hope it will be fine. So I clicked on this one because, first of all, I think it's a case study, so we have more stuff at the bottom. Not even. Okay, I thought we didn't. All good. So I clicked on this one mainly because of the color scheme and because of the layouts. So I believe this one is on the trend that I've been foreseeing for the close near future, which is we have been in a trend of very bright and colorful things, and we are moving away with a lot of pastels. But this one is doing it pretty well. As you can see, they still have that saving Ukraine type of vibe with the blue and yellow combo that is the IKEA logo, but has been popularized with the war in Ukraine and a lot of people who do the same thing. However, why I'm saying they are doing it well is because of that fucking yellow right here. It's not the usual IKEA yellow or Ukraine yellow, which is brighter and more vibrant, and the blue is the same. So they are muting out one of the two, and they also have very pastels colors like the purple right here and the blues right here. I might be able to see these icon right there, these things, pastel, muted colors overall. So this new trend, as I said multiple times, we are moving, or we will be moving to a more pastel-y future soon. I'm not saying that it's like today, but a lot of designers are moving to this. If you want to stay in the bright and vibrant colors, you can, but your website will feel 2019, 2021 very soon. So know that. And then why are they on the front page? I think it's a clean design overall. The layout of the shot is very simple. It's deconstructed on the side things. I'm expecting to see the landing page tag. I'm expecting to see maybe the new brutalism tag, because we have that outline around our image here and here. What else could we have? SAS potentially. Let's see. So we have lending, we have branding that probably bumps the traffic. Then web design is not really a thing anymore. I mean, it is, but it's not a tag that is searched for because we have the option to look for web stuff. Nana, hi. Welcome on in. How are you? How was your week? How was your day? So yeah, co-working, I don't think that would change anything, but yeah, lending and branding is probably the two tags that are bringing people. Then we have lending in the title, and yeah. No, you are a web designer, but we don't look for web design when we are on Dribble. That's the thing that I'm saying, right? If you are here and you look for, let's say you are looking for landing page, I put an S, but in here I have the ability to just click on that section right there, and if I do that, I get everything that is related or has been tagged into web design, most of it. Not everything, but right, and so it makes more sense. However, I can say mobile, and then I get mobile stuff. So you don't, the tag in itself doesn't really help anymore. So that's why I'm saying we don't really give a shit about the tag itself. That's it. Speaking of which, I read an article on Medium of Rent about how we shouldn't use the branding color for CTA buttons. They were mentioning how the color were exclusively studied to work with the logo and that the contrast would be bad for the buttons. They suggested to use shades of blue when it comes to buttons. Yes, so I think I read a similar article, maybe it was the same, I don't know. But what can I say? So you can see through this name in the chat at the bottom right here, being extremely bright. Well, not anymore because Fridis typed another message, but so that bright green thing is my newest color. You can probably see that on my profile picture on Twitch. It's also the color that I'm using on the next UI kit, so all of these things, right? When I'm playing with it, it is not helping me in the slightest. So if I were to, if I were to, go into the foundation, right, our colors for the primary color, which is the purple right here, is pretty cool. However, my minty thing right there is absolutely unaccessible. I mean, I can't find, like, this is bad. It just means that this color right here needs to be or have black on top of it rather than white. But it's the same thing here, and on all the other ones I can't have black on that because it's not as accessible. I mean, it passed the contrast ratio checker, but it doesn't look as accessible. Anyways, this is the color that I also use for the logo to be extremely visible and extremely recognizable from far away. We will touch on that green very soon because it is used across all of these things. What do you mean you can't watch in HD? I am on 1080 on my side. I can see source 1080. Film King. Right now this one is in 720. I can move to 1080, weirdly. Maybe refresh, I don't know. Are you on mobile? If you're on mobile, I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. But I have transcoding, so that's a good thing. Send motion, hi. The sub wasn't me. I mean, it was me, but it wasn't me. The sub was Stony, so you need to thank Stony. Strange motion. But welcome on in. Welcome on in. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, the button thingy. So, I agree with the fact that sometimes, maybe it's your internet connection, Ben? But that's weird. Yeah, that feels weird. I agree with the fact that the logo has a very specific type of colors. However, a lot of brands are using, and I'm not saying that as an example, but like Dribble logo right here is using the same color for their buttons right there, is using the same color for their icons right here, is using these pink for alerts, for a lot of banners, all of these things, right? So I would say it depends on the color. So for that example of green that I'm using right now, this green here is non-accessible, and so because I'm using it on the logo that I'm building, I wouldn't recommend myself to build something with these for the buttons if I'm following the my regular system for the buttons. System being here, right? We build them this way. So if I just bring that here, the way that my buttons work is we get. Let me see, can I do that? Or is it just my connection being dead? No, it's fine. Okay. So for my button thingy, you get it in primary, and so primary is this, and then primary in hover is the 800, primary in active is the 900. So that's the overall thing. And then this one, if you are on focused, it just has the outline, which this one. And then if you're on disable, it's this one, but at 24%. But the system is here. And if I were to move that to this other side, and rather than having it in primary, I move it to secondary, the system is the same. I use 100, 300, 400, and then 100 for everything here. So I built that as a system to make sure that this would work. However, that system doesn't work here, so I would need the dev and me to take the time to have a specific set of buttons based on our primary green. Doesn't mean I would. I tried. It's looking clean and I like it, but also it's complicated to put in place. So I did it at some point, and then I thought about it, and I said it would be better to move to something different. Refreshed and it worked. Welcome back in HD. So right in the beginning I was thinking, you know what, we should have that in solid and green. So this is the thing that you see. But then when you looked at it, it didn't match with the vibe, and then I just moved to plain black. I mean plain black, not 100% black, but my main action was or is currently black. And then the reason why I moved to pure black for these things is when you're on a very black and white UI, even here, right, it looks very very clean. When you have a touch of color, your eyes is drawn to it. So if you have this thing that says this is validated, you have this, you have the numbers, you have the capital, you have the lowercase, all that is good. And then if you have one that says you have one error, you can see it directly. So that's that's one of the reasons. And so when you are going to the other pages, the logo touching just this teeny tiny touch of green right here is some of the reason. And then we have this, for example, where the alert bar or the action sheet that comes from the bottom is bright green to make sure that we know that you see that fucking thing that's slided in from the bottom. And so everything else, every buttons, every actions is on the dark pattern right here. So that's the that is the behavior and one of the reasons. I am extremely influenced, I would say, with, how can I say that, with minimalistic UI lately. So going from a very colorful current interface with all of our buttons being extremely colored, like if something is in action it's blue, if something is pending it's purple, if something is like in warning it's orange, if you have something that needs to be deleted it's red. So all of these things, right, makes your overall UI very colorful, and the users don't know where to look at some point. So we, or I specifically, I'm looking at minimalistic UI with black and white as their main colors, and then using the color points for very useful things. So we'll keep the red for deleting stuff, but like it wouldn't be a full red page. It would be like a very subtle red here and there when it's just an error, or a very bright red when it's something that will be destructive. So yeah, for accessibility, yes, it's not the best option. You asked a question, you said, how did you set that up as a component system? What do you mean by that? I mean, sorry. Question is weird. What do you mean by that? Do you mean how did I define that the system here for 100, 300, 400, and 600, 800, 900 work with the system? Or are you asking something different? Not true. How you set the property and variable of your buttons to switch between the two palettes. Yes, so let me load another one, because the one that is using the same thing is a bit more complicated. Basically that's it. Nishit, hi. Welcome on in. How is it day? I saw that you sent me a message and I haven't had the time to look at it yet. So Nana, to get the variable and the options right now, for example, I have a big one, a middle one, and a small one, 3 sizes. And so this one is called solid, which is just using the solid color. This one is called solid black because it's solid and black. And then we have a ghost, which is black by default. And that's it. And so that way, if I'm using whichever button there, in the property of that button, I have the ability to say, okay, so which size is it? Because all of the style have all the size. Let's say this one's click. It has the text and the icon rather than the icon and the text. And then the style of it is the solid black. And so it just swap for the solid black. And then the state, let's say I just wanted to have the default or the active or the focused, whichever, right? And then I figure what I'm designing. I'm saying, you know what, that needs more colors. I can just do that, and then boom, you have the colorful one. So the way that it's built here on the component variant is I have a lot of properties of size, type, style, and state, which are base property that define where things are placed. and then I have a property of text, which helps me to replace the text of multiple buttons at the same time, and a property of icon swap that I can just define if I have an icon or not an icon. So specifically on this singular rather than the other ones, because I'm too lazy to do that, but it's the same thing. The text swap is the best thing that they created, meaning that if you have this and you say these 3 buttons here needs to say hello, you can just do that. You change your text here, and then they all say hello, and this one is still saying buttons. I think that's one of the best things that they have, and yeah, that's it. You just create your properties in your variant group, and you're good. And so on the other side, on the one that I used earlier, the way that it's built is a bit more complicated. So we have a lot more sizes on that section and a lot more styles, but yeah, they are. But it's the same. It's the same thing, and I divided that amount by 2. The original from here is, where are you at? Here. So this is a huge file, huge, monstrous file. Buttons right here. That's the original thing that they had, and so in a way it makes sense, but this thing, right, you have the primary thing with the grays, and then you have the same thing for destructive button, which makes sense in terms of how they built their things. However, it's not making a lot of sense to me. So yeah, that's tiny details. I'm setting the community things in Gumroad and shit. And also, yes, I have listened for a long time to the League of Legends music, songs, things that they built, because they are cool. But yes, it's basically just a few variant things, and yeah, it's helpful, but the destructive thing feels like a miss if your component is built properly. I have like a bit of Legend Never Die is cool, or Hero. No, Hero Never Die. No, I forgot which is it. Anyways, the thing that I've said and I've been saying for the longest time is, if you have a button right here and you use Figma, you can see, sorry, zoomed out a bit, you can see here that your button specifically is using in the selection color white and primary. Let's say tomorrow you are telling me that you change color and you need your thing to be green light, you use the 600 as well, and you're done. That's it. So the amount of work for creating an entire set of buttons with a specific color, as like red or aerostate or whatever, feels like a lot of wasted time in my views, because you just need to do that and click here and you're done. However, the main issue with this method right here is that if I'm saying now we go in hover, we're still on purple, so that makes no sense. So the reason why we do a secondary set is when you need to have a prototype that works, that is used. If that's not the case for you, then you can just have this and say at the bottom of my model, for example, I have 2 buttons let me just do that quickly. So this one would have probably no icon here, this one will probably have no icon as well, no icon at all, to be honest. And so this one is validate, and then maybe you have this that is like delete. I always feel like I'm mistaken forgetting something in terms of letters when I'm writing delete. Oh, I think it's not delete, it's trash here. Yep. So, right, so that makes no sense, and so right here you're saying, well, this delete thing needs to be in secondary because I don't want it to be that visible. And then you go into your selection color and you can see that it's using the primary 100. So you use the arrow 100 and it's using the primary 800 for the rest of the text, and you go there and that's it, you're done. You have your button in your destructive state, easy, accessible, made, all that, because the system works. And if as a designer, right, someone who works on a project, if you don't have the ability to think for yourself and understand how the system works when the system is in front of you with documentation to explain how the system is built, then you have no place in my team. That's it. And if you are a dev and you read the thing for the system and you don't implement the system properly, then it's the same thing. You don't have a place in my team. Like, if I give you all of the resources, all of the documentation that you need to read, and I tell you need to read that to implement the components, and you don't, then I don't know. Our future together doesn't feel as bright as expected. But yeah, no, it's a very simple thing overall. It's just simple. Can do that. So, right now I have my delete thing, and let's say tomorrow I'm saying, you know what, it's not a secondary, it should be like a tertiary. So I can go back. Sometimes it will have like some issues with the colors, but that's it. So maybe in tertiary the 800 is too much and we can go to 600. So that's something that I need to define in my system. But I believe in the system that I've made, I haven't made it by mistake, so 800 here means that if I use whichever other colors that we have, so let's say for some reason you want a yellow button and you use the 800, it's not exactly yellow, it's more of a brown thingy, but at least it would be accessible. That on that background will be visible and the people can see that. If you go into the secondary color, as we said earlier, same thing, right? We can have our 800 here and our 100, and it's still accessible, it's still readable, people can understand that. And so as a check, I'm playing with fire right now because I'm checking the yellow, but with that specific system that I put in place, it worked. It works. And we are a contrast ratio checker that passes on mostly everything, and that's a clean option. If for some reason we decided to have a different color, as in the 600, we do not pass. So that's why the system works. We need the 800. Anyways, did that answer your question, Anna? And then he said also I would tell you about some of the stuff I came up with today, as we spoke about yesterday, but I got a dip already. Have a good drink. I believe you are already gone by the time I read that message. But yeah, have a good rest of your day. It took me a lot of time. So yeah, so the main thing is organizing your properties in components variant. That's the that's the most important things, right? To define what type do you need and what type of button groups you have, for example, and then your properties are just one of the types. So all of these things are and will always be what your dev are supposed to look at, but when you give this to them, it's not as like explicit, I would say. And so some of them just don't, first of all, don't read it, and second of all, don't understand how that is working. So that's why I built these type of documentation next to it to just explain, well, this is a button, it does something, and then we have multiple things. And so this one is using like a 32 height with 4 pixel for the radius, and you have the construction, you have how the padding works around the flex one, how the padding works around the non-flex one, all of these things, right? Yeah, enjoy your night, lady. So all of these documentation, right? If you read it, you have, even though this one is a bit outdated because it's like duplicated from the old one, you have the system that is in place, right? How do you use it? And you shouldn't put things wrongly in the code. I don't know, it feels weird. Anyways, I used to, and then I got rid of them. On the community thing that I said on Gumroad, there is a version of Squircle, but the reason why I got rid of them at some point was the implementation at that instant is limited. So specifically if you work on a product that is web-based, the creation of Squircles is a lot of code for no real impact on the user's life. The best example that we have, if I go, because we have buttons and buttons are cool, let's say I will kill Figma again. So if I have this, and this one is using like a 60 iOS Squircle, and this one is using a 140 squiggly thing, right? If you are not a designer, can you really tell the difference between the regular non-squircly thing and the 60% iOS radius? Probably not. However, in between the non and the fully 100%, yes, you can probably tell that there is something that is weird in terms of the corners. But it is more pleasing to the human eye, that is true. However, this tool, for anyone who is a dev, we recommended it multiple times. But if you're here and you say your radius needs to be right there and your smoothing needs to be like at I don't know, 100%, right? That's the thing. The amount of code that you need to have right now, you need to have the Squircle JS in your CSS to make it work. And like they say it only works on these ones and it doesn't work on Safari, for example. So I don't know, it's just it's weird to me. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of code for no reason. Yeah, I mean, on iOS, you don't really have a choice, if I remember correctly. I mean, you do, but the default is basically squircled. So I think it's the same thing as Figma on Xcode. You can just toggle something and say it's just. It's very few lines, but like, think about it. Like when you think about this and you have your squiggle corners that takes all of this, whereas your border radius on a regular CSS thing is taking just that, then as a dev I would rather do this rather than all that. And so in order to get your squiggle on all of the elements that you need to have on your app, so let's say you are here and you need a squiggle on all of the things, then it's a lot of work. Jed, thanks a lot for the cheering up. How are you? I hope you're good. I hope you're good. So yeah, it's just because the designer wants it. I don't know. No, the real reason is just because Apple iOS design is leading the design trends. As I said, right? The dynamic island has been unveiled 2 days ago, and I am giving you a month and a half to get designers to do the same thing on other instances of their apps. So for example, right, let's say this.
Branco is now following.
Ismail, thanks a lot for the follow. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Welcome on in. Yeah, I'm like expecting designers to say, you know what, here the cross right there could retract the entirety of the page inside of it, and you want the animation to do that because that's an expanded menu, for example. So I'm just thinking that this will happen at some point. Yeah, we are a very small, a very small amount of designers here. But I'm happy that Twitch added the personalized tags, in which case now if you look for design or UI, UX, web design, all that, you probably find me. But yeah, welcome on in. What type of designer are you? Are you like a front-end dev? Are you more of a UI, UX person, product designer, something else? So, going back to the original subject here, why is that thing on the homepage of Dribble? I believe brand marketing, that's good. That is good. I've been trying to expand my knowledge on branding lately, and even though not so bad, it's not so good either. So that's something that I need to work on. So why is this on the front page, right? First of all, the green, which is the green that most people are using right now. Also, the color scheme. I think most of this is coming through the color scheme, but also the fact that it's a video that helps for people clicking on it. The fact that it has multiple pages. But I don't really see why it's on the homepage with 20,000 views. So, what are the tags? We get fintech, probably a tag that is related and looked for. But that's it. Animation maybe also, right? Animation and fintech can also help. What is this shot? The title is just so pro, so there is nothing here and nothing really interesting in the description other than so pro mobile application. So I don't really know. I would say color scheme, the fact that it's a video in the starter, and the fintech tag probably pushed it to the home page. Next up, we have this. This one I have 100% certainty of why it is on the front page. And it's for one reason and one reason only. The reason is this person, this designer right here, Gleb, is amazing, and everything they do and create have such a nice feel to it that it comes to the front page anyways. So I didn't know it was, I didn't know. I had a feeling that it was their things from the homepage. I didn't look at their profile picture.
What you looking at
But
is now following.
What you looking at? Well, come on in. Thanks a lot for the follow. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? So yeah, Gleb is amazing. As always, I don't want to explain much more, but take a look at their profile. It's oh, you recommended. Good. Thank you, Twitch, for that. I appreciate it. Well, go on in. We do design stuff in here, so if that's something that you like, well, come on in. So yeah, explore Gleb profile on Dribble. It's just amazing. They do a lot of things with 3D, and they also have such a nice touch when it comes to micro interactions that, I haven't, this is the thing that they create. Look at that shit. Look at that. Look at that polish. It's not polished, but just looks amazing. Everything is so tiny touches here and there to make sure that things work together. It's just a home thing. But they've been discovered when they worked on. Do we have it here? They had a breakthrough moment on this one. I think it was this one. I think this one was the Siri type voice visualization, wave pattern type of thing. Of course, yeah. Of course. So, open source. Let me rephrase. I don't know if it's... I don't know 100% for sure, but probably, at least with free software, yes. This is probably because it's them, it's probably Cinema 4D, yes. But you can do the same thing in Blender, 100%. You can... Figma is the tool that we use for regular app design right here. Figma is free, Blender is free, and then it's just knowledge. So YouTube is free. We are doing we are doing Dribble homepage review at the moment, and I'm just deep diving into Gleb profile, which I shouldn't do. Anyways, so next one, we're just doing the homepage, but please share links to your profile directly, and I can click on it later, 100%. So this one, why is it on the homepage of Dribble? Reason is they are making fun of the dynamic island of Apple, first of all, but also because Gustavo is creating a series of their avatar with different styles, and so every one that they created is pretty cool. They have very, very, very different styles, and you can get inspired by how they created them. So yeah, look at these things. They are just IDs here and there to give you style ID, and of course the more memey they are, the better. So this is a thing. and of course end up on the landing. This one, basically, my first thought was, this is the first one that I saw that used the new iPhone 14 Pro notch dynamic island thing on the landing homepage, popular off Dribble. So of course people will click on it. However, the design of it is not exactly to my taste for some specific reasons. Mainly because of that thing at the bottom that is not exactly working for me when you have these types of notches that are very flat, and then here it's very rounded, so there is something that doesn't match with the rest of the app. I think they could have just made them smaller rather than trying to get the same depth that they have here, but I mean, even then, I think the depth that they have is here, so they would have like a flat thing, which I think would have been better. But as always, this is just my point of view. Just my point of view. And then again, this yellow-greenish thing that we have now, that is the color trend at the moment, will be changing to pastel later. Next up is this one that we clicked on. So this is from Artboard Studio, the tool that we looked at on Monday or Tuesday, I forgot. So Artboard.studio, if you don't know, is the baby of Figma and After Effects in your browser, so you can get your motion design things right in your browser, which is a good tool. And the reason why it was on the landing page is because that fucking set of icon has been one of the cleanest. Basically Figma with an F. It's called Artboard, like this. Artboard.studio. Yep, Figma with an F. Like this. That's the icon. And so yeah, they created these set of icons right there, and a lot of people like them, specifically when you look at them in dark mode. They just look amazing. They have this satin type of finish that is very, very clean. And yeah, so every time that they are popping in the feed, they are good. But yeah, Artboard is this. We can do like a bit of a derail to Artboard. This is a very, for someone who uses Figma, you can see how that works. It's very similar to the Figma interface, and it just have a better timeline at the bottom to help you to do all of the animation things that you want to do. So it's more powerful than Fable. Fable.app is the other one that I recommend most of the time. But Fable is more for teeny tiny animations, vector animations. But it's a very similar UI overall. So all these things, very cool. In the browser, the main goal is to get you as the creator the ability to export it in different formats that are browser compatible. So that's the benefits right there. Fable is good. Fable is free. Artboard is free-ish. They are still in the starting point. So and also to break Adobe Monopoly, yes. But yeah, these things are very cool. Next, we get this one. Why did I click on it? I don't know. Do you have a clue of why I clicked on it? That fucking gradient is mine. No, it's not mine, but like that's the color that I use most of the time. And the peel is something that we used a lot in here. So this is, I mean, the reason why it popped in mainly, it's Halo UI UX is a very good, very, very good studio or agency, and they have a very trendy feel lately, with that peel shape with gradients that they use or have been using for a long time. We got inspired by one of their creation some time ago to create an entire overlay based on it. Our current raid scene is based on, where is it? I mean, is based on is a bit of a weird ass thing to say, but it's based on this, and our follow alert is based on that specific gradient at the bottom of the picture. So if you're here and you want to follow the channel, you can see the same effect. Baiting follows. What we do. Well, we're only at 5 today, so I appreciate it. But yeah, so they inspired us a lot. So doesn't surprise me that they are on the front page. I would say the gradient is what attracts people, and then the thinness of that fucking weird ass thing that goes around. Pretty cool. Pretty cool overall. I clicked on this one for one reason and one reason only. If you can tell me you've been here a while, I'll give you 10 seconds. No one. So sad. The reason I clicked on it is mainly because of the green. Yellow green is the new color. As I said on the previous one, it's the same base, and this one is using the usual combo of green purple, which is the absolute current combo. We, in the past 3 years, we went from flat purple, flat green to bright pink, bright blue as a gradient, and now we are going into bright green, bright purple. I mean, this one is not that bright, but yeah. Lisa DiCaprio, thanks a lot for the host. Welcome on in. How are you, if you are here? I appreciate it. So yeah, so I like that specific because of the color palette and all that, and then it's on the homepage because it is using their new feature of Case Studio, meaning that people that uses Case Studio on Dribble are pushed to the front page because they use a new feature. Same thing as Instagram, it just works. So if you have a shot on Dribble that you need to push, just put 2 pictures in it, and you will be pushed to the home page, front page, all that. That's it. Same green, right? Clicked on this one for the same reason. So this is the same behavior with a very minimalistic UI, mainly black and green and white, and that's it. No more like shortages or other things, and I believe the reason why it is on the front page is for that specific reason. It is minimal. It is using a non-pure black. It's a very hashed. This one right there is not pure black, which is good, and that green is very much what we needed to have. This is not exactly the same thing, but it's close. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's on the front page. It's mainly because it's animated here and well animated, if I can say that, and then the color are good. In the tags we have financial, which is something that a lot of people are looking for. Investment app has been a very prominent tag on Twitter, on Dribble for the past 2 years because of the NFT space, and so all the people, the designers that found that the NFT space was very much financially interesting, they created like a lot of financial app concepts. So that's some of the thing. So I guess investment, financial, and yeah, that's it. Fintech maybe. I probably pushed it to the home page. But it's neat. It's a neat animation. I wish I could do animation like this. I'm too lazy to do so. It takes too much time now. Yay. So I clicked on this one because the color were cool. I didn't know it was a video and an animated logo. It's a nice thing. The animation feels weird on the creation of the W. The reason why I'm saying this is because when the blob of color is coming in, it's a very circular motion, and then the W itself is very straight W. So that's a weird transition. I think I would have gone for something more like a ping pong on the side of the frame type of animation, mainly because of that W being very very straight. However, if the W was more of a Walt Disney type of W, then the rounded thing makes sense. Just a personal taste. Do we have more things? We do. Yeah, it feels a bit weird. But the colors are good, and so I believe the animation is the reason why it's on the front page, and the fact that the colors are very cool. Animation logo reveal, maybe. I don't think animate logo, logo animation. Yes, that's the thing. That's the tag that is bringing this one here, 100%. And it's fun to see that it's Kane. Hi. It's fun to see that they only have 303 views, but still are on the front page. So I like that. I don't think they are. I've been on the front page once. It didn't bring me anything, but it had reasons. Kane, no. No. I don't think I can. You just gave me an ID. Fuck you. I can. Okay, so if you think about it, let's do that. If you think about it, do we have like control options? So, if I wanted to do a dynamic island based animation thing, I need thanks a lot for this. Let's change legs. I need an entire recode of my alerts, which I don't know if I have the patience to do so. Maybe, but I don't know. And so what I would do is this. I would get the dynamic alerts, basically dynamic island alerts right here, and get this to grow and move depending on the alerts type, which is the thing that I wanted to do at some point, but also it's a bit complicated. But I would do a hole punch type camera hole with this as a base and expanding around it. So going like slightly expanding, I'd say, just on one side. So right, doing this at the top. Maybe, I don't know, I don't want to do that. But yeah, for this, it's the newest iPhone top section. Yep, this one is exactly what I thought. This is color scheme and the fact that it's green. You won't be able to do that in OBS. That's the thing. The dynamic island modification, it's not an option. Fuck you. It's sorry, it's just don't give a shit. For this, that's the thing. These types of animation on the island, as they call it, that's the dynamic island. So it's just getting something to expand and retract and behave a certain way depending on the actions. So yeah, I am not on a roll. It's just it's the French website. We absolutely don't give a shit about that. I mean, it's sad someone died, but didn't had my grandma 2 weeks ago on that web page. I don't know, just give a shit. She was older. Anyways, you can do it. You can do it with Smart Animate. There are things on the dynamic island that you can't recreate in Figma. I mean, no, you can't. You can't. You will have like a lot of issues with it. Mainly the thing that is not prone, but like that people are talking about is can I see it? Can I find the thing? Did I like it? I think I liked it. Yes, I did. So this person noticed that the island itself has a subtle blur that blurs the content underneath the island. And as they say, this will be a very complicated things to recreate in Figma. So, right, you get your things. Let me fakely do that really quickly. Put that in red at 40 because I mean, you talked about the button I was trying to build. No? Why? Not yet. Not yet. So let's say this is the island. It's black. It's rounded. That's the shit. Okay. So if you wanted to have your island to go through and make the... I mean, am I good? Okay, that's centered. That's centered-ish. Fuck me. Anyways, yeah, we can't align this shit. If you want to get the background blur that is here. So first of all, you have the shadow, which is a big ass. I believe it's like something like this with probably a 24 in blur and a spread of -8 to get your thing. It's also probably an additive like weird ass overlay thing to make the content underneath more saturated. And then if you want to recreate that transition blur thingy, you need a new layer in between your island and your content. And so the way that will work is you get that in white with a linear gradient going from 1% opacity right here to 0% opacity. Then you make it go basically there, and that thing needs to have an effect of background blur with the amount of blur that you want to have, but that's the only way that you could potentially emulate something that is close to the adaptive blur that we have. As you can probably see, it's still create a weird ass thing in the transition, and so that's why we're saying it will be absolutely impossible to recreate in Figma. It has like a bit of blur right here. It is a very subtle thing, but it has like a bit of transition blur, and right here it has the same thing, but it's like it's very, very, very subtle. And also it's like a radial thing because it's around the content, and so in Figma it's almost impossible to recreate. In Sketch it's almost impossible to recreate. I don't really know who in the team decided that this was a good idea, but yeah, that's the thing. So it turns out maybe on the newest iOS options on Xcode you may have an option to define that the shadow has like a blur as well, which could be really interesting. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. Anyways, this one, I think it's a great color scheme. I want to share that with everyone because it's a pretty cool landing page overall. Very simple, but the color scheme is good. And then, as always, the green in the background is one of the reasons why people are clicking on it. And on the tag, what do we have? Minimalist, maybe. Dark mode, probably. Landing page, yes. That's it. Job finder could be a thing. Job could be a thing as well. Because if you're looking for a platform to create job seeking, like a job board, well, you look for job in the search bar, so probably one of these. And then, as always, it's a case study, so it goes there. It goes there. Yeah, I like this. And then the last one of the home page, the reason why I clicked on it, and I think the reason why it was on the home page, the fucking ghost font. That's it. The color scheme is interesting, but it's not that good. The effect on the picture is okay, it's just a negative thing. It doesn't mean that it's like very good or bad stuff. However, the play on ghost is interesting, and I guess that's the reason why they clicked on it. So how much do we have? Typography is probably one of the thing, and then that's it. That's it. The color scheme is just a basic 2019 Pantone with a bit of a blue, which seems to be like a reverted, like inverted colors with the same lightness. Very simple landing page. Very simple landing page, anyways. Yeah. So that was the home page. We have this, and then we also have, let's say, what is the difference between casual and universal design and native iOS app design? What should be changed on my design if app will be developed on iOS apps? That's a good question for this. Nothing should be changed, really. I mean, you can change shit if you wanted to, but the main thing, right, from the iOS-based design. Oh, interesting. You have a logo that is very close to mine. Smile. Yeah, no, the thing that needs to be changed is you basically need to follow the iOS design guidelines or human interface guidelines to be considered an iOS app. However, if you just follow the iOS guidelines, it is basically follow the same thing as following like the material guidelines on Android, and you end up with a very system-based app. So I don't know. There is not a singular thing that needs to be changed to make your app more iOS than Android. But the thing that I have done for the longest time is I have spent days learning the human interface guidelines when they came out, and then since then I've been just refreshing every time there was like an update. And the same thing when the material design was announced the first time, and updated my knowledge on them. And now the thing that I'm creating, depending on the platform, mainly I'm doing some apps and web apps, so I don't really give a shit about native stuff anymore, but still, the entirety of the thing that I built is a mix of material and iOS combined, plus the guidelines for the webs, which, because the web is now mobile or like tiny mobile based, if you follow the iOS or Android guidelines as a guideline, not as a directive, very different thing, then you should be good. You should be good. But yeah, no just one thing. It's a lot of tiny overall thing. Is there a very specific shot that you would like me to look at? But first of all, I need to click on this one. That's the one I see. You need to learn the guidelines first, yes. As always, you need to learn the rules to break the rules. That's the thing that I say, and I will continue to say forever. If you know the rules, then you can break them if needed. But yeah. So this logo, the blue thing right here, specifically the A, seems very, very close to my personal logo right there. Not to say it's the same. It's interesting. I see something and I kind of want to test it out. Yeah, you have it almost looks like this center one is not a line, but it is, but it's not, but also it is, but it's weird. I was looking at it from afar and I was like, yeah, I get it. Not the easiest thing to do. Anyways, yeah, no, never go to the office knowing to go to the office. Why then? Why go to the office when you can stay home? Yeah, that's a good base. I'm very happy to say that the the human interface guidelines have been updated finally. So yeah, and same thing. I mean, from this article, this website is outdated a bit, but outdated right there. The date picker has been changed not so long ago. I mean, 3 years ago. So, how long is this? 2021. Interesting. But yeah. I think so, yes, through this. I think we only hire here. mainly because no one is capable of speaking English in the company. I mean, sorry, let me rephrase that. We are all capable of speaking English, however, the only one who is willing to make the effort of speaking English on the daily is me. So, not. I mean, it's outdated, but it's weird because it's in October 2021, and we are basically in October 2022, and it shouldn't be that outdated. But as always, writing content takes time, and so it depends on the person. If the person is like me, then this thing has been started a year before. So, right. Oh, do we have like a link to the original? Anyways. Anyways. Yeah, that's. Have a lot of shots compared to me. I like that. I like that. Neat. Um, so I like that a lot. That's interesting. This one is clean. Like the colors here, I like the leaf there. And you said this one is the um, latest one, right? 2020. Wood investment. Oh, you have full projects on other platforms. Oh, you mean at the bottom? Yeah. Color scheme, that fucking green comes up. Good choice of fonts. Grid doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it does, but it's not grid. It's grid layout, which is different. You're good. For this, yes, I would say. It's one of the easiest way, but also you can, if you wanted to, you could side by side them. You could have material design in iOS or human interface side by side, and then just look at the differences, because that basically what you need to know, right? So you open the buttons on material design, and then you open the buttons on human interface, and then you compare. You know that iOS is telling you that the buttons for touch needs to be 48 pixel in height as a minimum, and then on Android they say the button for touch is like 44 pixel as a minimum, or I forgot if it's the opposite, right? But the thing that you know is that one of them is asking for a minimum of 48. That means that all of your buttons on mobile needs to be at a minimum of 48 if you want to go through all the validation state on iOS and on Android. Because if one of them is asking for 48 and the other for 44, if you give the one that is asking for 44 48, it will be like, yeah, okay, that's still clickable. So you take the bigger number here, for example, and then you have some contrast ratio thing, typography, dividers, effects, all that, and it's on the list. You can go through with comparing both websites. You would be good, but I would still recommend you to just go through the entire thing, read everything if you can, and then go to the other side, read the entire thing, and then compare everything. But take your time. Yeah. So that's good. I love that, Ismail. Yeah. I love that. I just think it's not accessible enough, but I love it. So the thing is, and the reason why I'm saying it's not accessible is like people would read Smile Renko rather than Ismail Branko, which it's not your name. Supposed to work as a clock. That's interesting.
It's muscle time!
Thank you, Melly. How are you doing? Oh, this project doesn't exist. This team doesn't exist. Ah, how are you, Melly? How was your week? We triggered some eyebrows back at the same time, so we have flickers on the screen. And a mustache as well, but that you didn't know. Maybe one day I will have a mustache like this to very much be French, right? If only. Right, now you have my regular face. Damn it, I look like shit. Anyways, it would put me in a tiny spade. Let me go back to your profile. You said here, right? That's what you were talking about. Forged investment. No? Oh, this. Sorry. It's pretty neat. It's pretty good. There are things that makes a lot of sense, specifically for Standstill. The fact that you use a Stencil font as a base gives you the ability to have easily buildable signs for outdoors, like metal cutout, to make sure that everything is staying in one singular thing. So that's pretty clean. It's a good idea, specifically for an investment firm. Yes, I like that. And for this, you want the... You want me to review your portfolio, but you already know what I will say? Or you are saying that you know what I will say here? The color are cool. I like the green, dark green type things. And the copper is pretty interesting. However, I get it, but copper is viewed as less rare, less important than the than gold, but I kind of like the combo with copper plus that green. So some of the thing that you have is not accessible, as you can see here on stream. You probably can't even read that. However, because it's on a book officially, even though it's a mock-up, right? Don't give a shit. But this, yeah, complicated to justify this. Here specifically, so that's a very me thing. Even though we understand that the market is going up, if you end up on a downtrend, it's not a good view. So I would have cut that last segment just to make sure that everything is going up after that thing, hypothetically. But I like overall the details, the kerning that you used here to make sure that everything is stacked and condensed. And the FI can be a stamp. Yeah, I do. I am sharp. I need to. I need to. But I like it. I like the colors. Friedrich, what do you think I was about to say? I'm interested. Depending on the scissors, but yeah. I like that. I really like the blue green background. It really depends on your screen. So, right. But I like that color. It's very trendy. It was a very trendy thing, specifically, as you said, it was 2014 firm with a redesign around 2020, right? So I like that. I don't know if I can do that. I don't do user testing for free, but I can do review for free. User testing is work. This is not work for me. This is just review, so it's fine. Yeah, I like the color. The fact that you have this clips that matches with the copper makes a lot of sense to me. It's not that I don't like Times New Roman. It's just that it's not a font that is linked to digital product. However, this is an investment firm, meaning that the overall feel of a serif font would match. As I always say for fonts, right? Most fonts are good, if not all fonts are good if they are used properly. So Times work here, specifically in the stencil form, because it's forge and stencil. Stencil being used for crates, and usually, how can I say that? Usually it's used for applying spray paint or paint on boxes. All of these are associated with heavy lifting, machinery, construction workers, and then the name forge also remind you of that with the copper. That helps, but then you emphasize on the fact that the firm itself is something that is robust because it's made to be applied as a coat of paint on boxes, on construction works, and all of these things that are made, like, meant to stay alive for a long time. So this is really it's a good overall choice, and it's fine enough. Also, sorry, I'm derailing on that. Yeah, it's also fine enough to like go with this section, which is the fine investment thing. That section here, the step-by-step guide for beginners, I didn't see it in the first pass. However, now I see it, but it's very, very small. But also, it's supposed to be a book, so it's supposed to be in front of your fucking face. You should see it. But I like it. I like it. I was wanting to look at this. Mainly, if you want to get less tired, says me, the most tired person on that platform, um, is to sleep and get regularity in your day life. So, the best advice that works on me most of the time is trying to get the same, it's a bit boring, but trying to get the same day for 2 weeks to a month. And when I'm saying the same day, it's exactly the same fucking day. Meaning, you have your alarm at a certain time, let's say 7:30. You get out of bed at, let's say, 7:35. You take your shower, you do your thing, and then if you eat breakfast, you eat breakfast. You do your workout if you do that, or you just go to work directly, whichever. But you have a very on time life for exactly 2 weeks as a minimum, and at best a month. That will give you a regularity that just helps you to reorganize your internal clock, and then your sleep schedule is better. But you absolutely need to be like on time. Whenever I need to reformat things, that's what happens. So like lately I've been waking up too late. Stony, your sleep schedule is fine. I mean, sorry, let me rephrase that. As long as your schedule is a schedule, you are good. If you fall asleep at 3 a.m. and you get like 6 to 8 hours sleep, and then you fall back asleep at 3 a.m. the next day, it's a schedule, it's fine. However, the issue is when you go to bed at 8, very early, fall asleep at 2, not good. And all of these things. So that's not the best thing. But yeah, as long as you have a schedule, that's good. So yeah, Millie, that's basically it. Waking up too late, getting to bed too late. That's basically what I have right now. I like that fucking font. Sorry, the A is pretty interesting. It's a cutout of the E, but I like that. In cats, you also have a sleep schedule. It's just different. And then this is cool. This is cool colors. I like that. What do you mean it feels dystopian? It's not. -6. Interesting. The thing that I do when I move to Japan is, I mean, usually, I used to do, is because the flight is 12 hours, and then I arrived there either midday or at night. The usual thing that I used to do was, if I knew I would arrive at night, I would try to sleep on the plane and then wake up and not sleep again. That way when I arrive I'm like tired as fuck. Or if I knew that I arrived on like during the day, I'm trying to sleep as much as I can so that I can be okay for a certain amount of time when I arrive, when I land, and then be on a regular-ish schedule, getting a headache the next day. But that's it. The only thing that I don't like here is the black. Black is too black. Yeah. You can, but that's not good for your system overall. I wouldn't recommend it. Expensive. Was that a paid project, or was that like a concept project? Because expensive. Don't it will be fine. It will be fine. Interesting. Let me show you. So right now we're using Gotham Bold. So the Gotham font used to be, seems like it has yeah. Gotham is like one of the expensive fonts, but then it used to be more expensive than that. And that website is just weird, so I don't know. But if you have like 1 million page view per month, which is a lot, but depending on the concept and all that, you need to pay $1,000 basically per month to use the font. So that's not the cheapest one out there. And I wanted to click on this one as well because gradient and textures. That newest oh, that's a good question. I know that I have some fonts that are expensive that I do not regret buying, but still a tad bit expensive. Yeah, it's always weird. The user base count for a thing that you download is always very complicated because once you have the thing, you can transfer it to another computer and they have no way of knowing that you are using the thing in multiple computers. However, it's not fair. It's not fair. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Most expensive font family. That's it. GHA Bodoni. That it's a Bodoni based, yeah. for 5K. It's an okay pricing. So I see it's been 2 hours and 22 minutes, and we have 22 viewers right now, so I go pee right now. So, we're back. What justifies the price? People buy it. That's it. Nothing justifies the price. Right. As it's said right here, type designers selling their fonts on my fonts can price them however they want. So that seems to be the case. And yeah, let me see. It's a serif font because it's a Bodoni, so that makes sense. Has some glyphs, but not all. It's Retallic and full 50 euros, so very much not the same price. Yeah, no. Nothing really. It is a scam. No. Good job. The BBC font is pretty nice, yes, I agree. And then I clicked on this one because the font is good, and also because the color are good. Gradient thing on the arrows, I feel. That pink is very clean. It might look very red on stream, It's much pink on my side. I like that. I've seen a thing today. I don't know if I liked it. I forgot. I may have. Was it Sparrow? No, I don't think it was Sparrow. I didn't like it. Damn. Fuck. Sad. Yeah, no, that's not the one. It was an interesting, similar fonts overall, but wasn't it? That wasn't it. Yeah. No one knows what I'm doing. I wanted, for anyone who is here, I wanted some of your point of views on that ID that I have right here. And there are some tiny things that may not come through on stream, so I'm sorry about that. But it's not really user testing, but it's just I want your point of view. I don't know if it's a good idea yet, but do you? I mean, the current ID that we have, and that I think that I have right now, is that tiny animation, which right now is basically just a tiny effect, but right, that's the thing. What do we think of this teeny tiny change on the interface, having the top section that retracts itself, the search bar to move at the same time, right? These things. Is that something that makes sense? That's something that doesn't make sense. So the idea is you get this and you have the ability probably around here to lock that sidebar, similarly to what we have on Stoney's side. And right, yeah, so there will be an option to have it always expanded. The thing is, for people who have small screen, this is a design on a very small screen already. You need to have that table to be able to be, how can I say, Stony is fine, it's fine. Yeah, I basically want the oh, interesting. The table itself is this. I will kill people. Sorry, I forgot. Right now, if I don't have the ability to load project, then that's not. Why? Sorry. didn't think I needed to have. Yeah, okay. That's the base thing that we have currently, and so the table itself is like a very wide thing with a lot of content, and so you currently have the ability to expand, retract the thing. However, I'm thinking it might be better to have that option maybe just on hover of that section. That way, retract itself automatically, but then if you needed to have it locked, you can. Right now it's not exactly that fucking thing, but you could have like an option to lock that sidebar, right? Same thing as here, it's locked in minimal, and here it's locked in maximal. But the goal is to have like this table to be wider. And so through this, the icons here are from Untitled. I think they have an option here. Untitled. I think, yeah. So that's it. Oli, hi, welcome on in. Oh, you meant something different. So, where did these icons come from? From the second button. Yeah, that's it. So this one is selected. You are currently on the table view, and so this is the subsection of the table view. Ah, shit. Yeah, no, it did the same thing as last time. Figma is trash. Let me say that. Figma is absolutely trash. I don't understand how they can break. Oh, I hate them. So, let me explain why I hate it. When you copy that link right here, it gives you something that doesn't work. I don't understand. Only either you finished the one that you had yesterday, the honey type thingy browser extension, so that's one less, or Twitch came to you and said you don't have the right to use the API, and so you're now fucked and you can't use that. Which would be so weird. Would be so weird. What else can happen? Were you combining three of them? Oh. Before you say anything, let me guess. Are you combining chat, overlay? I mean, they are basically the same, so chat overlay, I think the... Oh, it has nothing to do with the Twitch ones. Fuck. So, yeah. So the one that I know, of, right? You have the honey thing, you have the domain name checker, you have your wife's shop, which technically is not exactly a side project, but still. You have that link tab thingy, right? Yeah, bookmark. Yeah, so how would you combine? I mean, bookmark is very specific to bookmarking. Shopping is specific to price checking and not very URL based, domain name based. And then your domain name thingy is a very defined thing. So I have issues understanding how you can combine them. But that could be interesting. For this, it would be the same thing with the slide method. So right here, right, the thing that I want to do is have the ability to lock the sidebar and not having retracting itself automatically. But then when it is retracted, I want it to be able to expand automatically when you reach that point. So that way you can just see your things, you know that you need to go in something specific, and so you reach it and that it expands. That's my goal right here. But I'm also thinking, so clicking needed if you want to have the sidebar to retract automatically, or if you want to just have it open at all times. As a default, it would be locked as open at all times, and you can just unlock it, and then you'd have that same thing. It just does that, right? So that way you can easily quickly go here, check your thing, move pages, and then it will retract automatically when you go back to the front page, giving you more space in the horizontal. However, that's where I'm at. There is also the option to get the top navigation and get that to retract with just the icons. So that would be extremely similar to what we have today, but with the same exact behavior, potentially. That could work. It's just a thing that I haven't really planned yet. So if you are here, let's say you click on the so if you slide in and you say you want to go to the home page, if you go to the home page, you will end up with the home page screen, which might or might not have the need for a sub sidebar. So if it doesn't have a sub sidebar, then it's retracted. However, if it had a sub sidebar and you unlocked it, it would be unlocked. But if you kept it locked, it would be visible. And same thing for the other pages. Right now, the other pages are very arbitrary because I don't fucking know what we want to have. And it might be very much limited, specifically because on that section, this is the main base that we need to have. The members is something that is on the company level, but it's also on the table level. An import data collection can be a very similar 4-page, fully fleshed out thing. Schedule report is based on the data collection, project detail is based on the data collection, and the presentation is based on the data collection. So all of these 4 things here could be plugged in there, but because right now they are outside in the current product, I kept them outside. I still want them to be in here. but they are based on the table itself. So that's why it's a bit complicated. Not the easiest thing. Not the easiest thing. And technically that looks like this, right? You have your table that goes across, way across. So yeah, I don't know. So what are we thinking? Is this a good idea? Is it not a good idea? I don't know. Nate, hi. You could tell. Good. Good. I was thinking, by the way, because you bring up a good point yesterday. Where my files? Right there. I mean, I did it on another thing, but anyways, the ID, right, could, right now we have this basically, and when we were testing, we used this as well, and I was thinking it could be interesting to get potentially as a test, I don't know, because I can have animated emotes or animated profile picture with 7TV. I could create like a GIF with just these that just change color, not too fast but not too slow either, so that if you have 7TV and have like a very party time, very colorful thing on the sidebar, it just flashes, and then if not, then you just have the green one, which I think is a good idea overall. I don't know, we'll see, but yeah, you had that idea yesterday. That's the thing that we used to have on some WordPress themes back in 2009, that I remember at least. So, always has been a thing. And the thing that is really interesting in the WordPress themes that I have in mind is it wasn't on hover, it was, if not too fast, yeah, it was like basically here, so before you reach it, it was starting to open already. That was interesting, the way that it was like behaving. Right now, because we have the checkboxes right there on that specific page, it might become a bit complicated. So, to be checked. There is also that ID, which would feel weird to me, but let's see. Shit. Would that be a thing? That's a different behavior, but could that be a thing where the table itself, which right now, made a mistake, but the table itself is contained in its own frame. Does that make sense as well? It's a bit of an interesting thing. That also means that for some reason you could easily you could, you could easily get a scroll bar. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's not in there. If it's not in there, it's supposed to be Subway? But how? I looked at them like, what? There you go. Right there. How the fuck is it called? I will kill people. I will end people's lives. 100%. That's... No, it's not okay. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is this. We could have the scroll bar be set on the side right there. Rather than being inside of the element. That could be interesting. I am also very scared of what this is, right? Yeah. So if I do this, then take all the games that you want, Ollie. I appreciate you lurking. Right? That feels like a nice placement for the scroll bar for some reason. Rather than be on top. Right, if it was here. I kind of feel like bit of space that is not wasted but covered. So we will still have the option then, if you are not on the table, it's not exactly visible, but still it feels like a weird thing compared to this one, which just sit on the outside. However, to create this and have this look how you want it to be, the dev will hate me 100%. So, might not be the best idea. Might not be the best idea. Ah, shit. To be checked. To be checked. I can't confirm nor deny anything. I don't know. It feels nice. Feels like a nice option overall. Wish I could scroll on that thing, but I can't. Anyways, so what are we thinking about that? Is that a good thinking, bad thinking? Interesting, not interesting? Too much movement for no reason? Also, right now we've been looking at the gray version. The idea of this is to potentially get like a themable thing, and so you can select like a color, and your main color is taking over everything. So it's one of the main ideas that I have had so far. So the thing that we have here, the reason why this is not picked up is because that fucking thing is underscored scroll bar, and if you want it to be pushed, you need that to have the non-underscore in front of it. Ah, shit. Okay. So. Yeah, that was a bit of a derail thing. Stony, why? I've been on the on that page for a good 30 minutes now. Why no loading? Not always you, I'm just asking. Interesting. Very interesting. Doesn't seem to want me to do anything. Which, I don't know. Did you do something? Do I have an issue with my connection? Seems to be fine. Take your time. Take your time. But yeah, and so on another note of something that is a bit annoying but kind of interesting overall, that's a current ID design. Doesn't mean it's the thing that will happen 100%, but it's the ID. And so I have an entire app to reformat and recreate basically from scratch with that new design thing, and that will take a lot of time. Will definitely take a lot of time. So we will see. I also need to plan the build sequence. So when I'm saying this, it's a very interesting thing. I feel like it's an interesting thing for designer to plan the build sequence in terms of how the dev needs to implement things. If you think of your design system and style guide as atomic design libraries, it's pretty easy, right? The sequence is mainly where you create the smallest thing first, as in the colors, the fonts, the spacing, all the primitives, and then you build on top of it. So a button is a div with a color in the background and a text style on top of it, and so that's the combination of something. And then you move to something else. Maybe you have a footer which uses 3 buttons, but 2 of them are on the side and the other one is on the other side. So all of these things are creating like tiny organism, and then when you have this, you can create a page, or at least an element that is reused across multiple pages. So let's say the table that I had earlier, same thing, right? It's a combination of a lot of tiny informations, but in order to create the table, you need to create all the cells available. So that's what you need to do. And so creating all of these build sequence helps you as the designer to know what are the things that needs the most documentation and what are the things that don't really need documentation, as in the creation of colors. You don't exactly need to explain why you have these colors unless the colors are used for specific use cases. As an example, the colors that I use and that I always have is the communication colors, the error, warning, success, blue and purple, that are action and pending, which I absolutely forgot to rename. What do you mean the loader is not removing? As in it's loaded behind, but it cannot go away? Fuck me. Indeed. Well, that happens. Anyways, the thing that I wanted to do is this. I think that's your root. Maybe that's still not the thing.
Pixelies just resubscribed for 11 months. Hi smiley face.
11 months. 11 months. Holy shit. It's a long time. Thanks a lot for the resub, Pixelies. Please. Well, go on in. These are the same IP. Sony. Time flies indeed. 11 months is a long time. Both are fucked? Good. Good to know. It tells me I'm connected, but then it doesn't refresh the page. What did you do on the back end that just fucks everything? But Lise, how are you? How have you been? How was your week? all these questions. Thanks a lot for the resub again. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm good. I'm tired, as always, but and I'm also trying to understand things which makes no sense to me at that instant. Okay, that makes sense. And that doesn't. How the fuck is it not? Sorry. Where are you in the job hunting, looking for type thingy? Why is that not? Okay, so that just doesn't want to work for me for some reason. I want access to the thing, but I don't understand why it's not, like, accessing the page. Oh, fuck, it was just not resizing, not refreshing itself. Okay. And this is crashing like last time. Ah, sad. So sad. Weird. What do you mean 30 records to the same server? It's something I don't understand. it's not, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Ah, fine then. Interesting. So I'm trying to find the location of the border radius, which is here. The idea for me was to get a border radius of, I think it's 16 points, so it's 1 IM for you. So that way it rounds everything. Then I'm also looking for the margin overall. Did you find the solution? So here I'm thinking if I just add a margin of 1 IM, it should point to everything. Ah, didn't you remove me for testing some time ago and I forgot about it? It's probably the case. So, because I can't... I thought yesterday you told me that I could. Anyways, let me just screen that. Because we can. Thank you. Oh, I already had. You know what? It's a good comparison in between this and this. The home page with the section. That's nice. Nicely done. Nice update since we started working on that. Anyways, the thing that I'm looking at and I'm thinking about right now is this, which, as you can or will probably see in a second, is very influenced by the same thing that I showcased earlier. And so, potentially, you could have this. My views. So you use 24 here. So to not be Gmail, right, Stony? That's the thing that I wanted to do yesterday, but I couldn't because no access, no issue though. But just that's the reason. And but it's true, and I do agree with that statement. It's not on par with what I want to create. Like, as I said, specifically because you are, I mean, specifically on his side, right? Because what it does is YouTube type video hosting platform. I want on this, I did not have this specific thing of looking like Google. However, for you, because we use Material UI as a base, it's difficult to not look like it. And so if we can find a way to not exactly look like it, which we already did with the way that the color looking and all that. But I'm thinking, right, going into the next future of platforms, knowing how they will look, I really would recommend you to do something like this. Okay, so that gives you this. That gives you this. So you have the overall you have the overall design of that section that is one thing, and then you have the center section that is a pan on top of everything, which is already the case for most of your stuff. The only thing that is different, I think, is the placement of your sidebar, which visually goes above it, rather than under. And so the example that I had like right here, right, is the top content center content is going above everything, and then when you have the sidebar that is open, which for you would probably be open at all times, but because I remember that you want to have the ability to lock or unlock that same thing, if it's just sliding in on top of it, I think that could be pretty clean, right? I'm biased right here because I've been working on that for 2 days, and so that's the type of thing that I have in my head, or have had in my head for a bit. However, the benefit of this type of UI overall is that rather than having the current background on that pad right here, you could easily have that being, rather than being the 2424, you can make that white at like 10% or something like this, which gives you something very similar to the 2424. This is a tad bit. It's a tad bit. Yeah, 8%, 9%, basically. Let's say 8%. Right here in transparency, give you the ability to say, let me check that, can I do this? Image PG fits into the info page. What do you mean? Don't get it. Ah, I get it. Okay. My idea was this. The thing is, with that thing, if you want to get like a theme, you can have a theme that just works with the pans pretty easily, even though, right, it can be reversed when the luminance is too high, but you have like a dark purple theme, you get that texture. Right, and so for your themable thing later, I feel like it's a better option, easier to manage rather than giving the ability to the user to potentially change their background image. So, but I get it then. If you have, I mean, you could have it replaced. But here, with that technique, you just have to change one value in your theme manager, and you get both at the same time. Yeah, but I would love for you to give the option to not have that image because because it's not good. It's not good. It's not a good idea. Oh shit. I'm happy you can't see what I can see, because that upload new image thing just burned in my new logo. I mean, my new profile picture color on my screen right now. Fucking display. I don't understand it. You're trying to find the color pixel thingy. What do you mean? What do you call the color pixel thingy? Okay. In the meantime, I will do my regular. Can't see that. Can't see that. A regular dance of colors right here. It's fine though. But yeah, I do think that this ID, right now it's just an ID, to be honest, of changing the way that it looks a bit, that might help a lot. So what does that do officially? Why do you need it then? Because it, as they say themselves, right here, not as useful as before, because now we have this. I don't get the benefit, so maybe I'm dumb right now and I'm tired and I don't know what we're trying to do, but I don't see how that one pixel thing helps or would help. Good job, game. But yeah, now why do you need that one pixel thing? You said that it should allow you to pick a set of color. I mean, to pick and set a color for your background. But I don't understand why you can't just apply a color on top of. Welcome back, Aiden. How was the food, I guess, at that time? Usually food. Yeah, why can't you just get the thing to go through? On which section? Whichever. Can I paste it here? Or do you mean console? As in that? Okay. Soup. I don't see the benefit. That's the I mean, are you telling me that this why though? Like, it doesn't change anything? Let me just make sure of it, right? Okay, so you have your base. That's the base, okay? The base is the thing with the background and the purple-ish hue on top of it. And then you tell me, if you go in the console and you apply that thing, you get a change of color, right? It doesn't change shit. Like, what's the point? Like, here, alright, I get this, which has changed color, fine. Well, it doesn't seem to work. Anyways. No, the thing that I don't understand, and as I said, right, maybe it's just because there is something that doesn't make sense to me. But what if, or why, so right now, let's say that this is your main thing. Oh, well, I got disconnected, good. Going to look for the one that has the image as the background, but I can't find it for some reason. I don't think it's like deeper, but thank you for the reconnect. Appreciate it. How can I check the fucking background thingy? It's just, it doesn't allow me to check it out. I don't know why. Yes, that's the container in which we have theme color. Something makes no sense. I know it's my brain, it's not, like, it's just me. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you have like the picture on the body? And then the thing is, just on top of it. No. That's the back. That one is called background, so it should be in here, right? Officially. Then the image is not loaded. Yeah, make type background one is it. Background one is the one that I have. Oh, and you have this image. Okay, so that's the image that goes on top. Thank you. That's the image that goes on top to define the color that you have. So what I'm thinking is, as long as you don't have it, you basically don't need it. The image, that's where I'm standing right now. If I get rid of the swatch background thingy, sorry, that thing right here, which currently we don't really need it. However, if I take this class div thingy and I give it like a background color of, I don't know, white, it does work. So my question is, why, instead of having a picture, so it loads even though it's like a 1 pixel by 1 pixel image plus the background that also is limited, why can't we just have a color, either as an overlay or if you want to have the thing, but wouldn't it be easier to not have an external element that needs to be loaded, even though light, as I said, but just have a color? That requires you to, that requires you to get the main central panel without the image, which I know you don't want to do a lot of changes. Yeah, that makes sense. But am I right in thinking that loading an image is longer than loading a CSS property? Or that? And my goal wasn't to change the color. My goal was just to have that as a floating thing. Main reason being, I get is that where you can have this, for example. You could have not exactly a theme that you would have on your own, right? But if you have something similar, you could have the person define like an image background for the entire website rather than the central thing. However, I do understand that the central thing needs to have the image as a background, specifically when you are inside of a show or something. That kind of makes sense when it's here, but Interesting. Do you have specific thing that I can look at, or not really? Not yet. I think not really, not yet. Ah. So, what is bright? This is bright. Still broken. Yeah. I mean, they are all in 0 out of a certain amount, so I'm guessing it's just the content is not loaded yet, which is fine. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know if that helps, but that's the thing that I get. Yep. I don't know. But weirdly enough, you get the same. I mean, first of all, I get like errors when I'm just trying to load the page for the first time, which is interesting, I think. And also that thing is, sadly, I don't understand why it's not as, I mean, no hate to you or whatsoever, just I don't understand why it's not as snappy as it used to be. It feels weird. It's weird. No, I know, but it used to be. Oh, sorry. What you're telling me is you changed the refresh rate, resizing rate, to after things have stopped moving in order to avoid bouncy effect. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That's a good answer. That is a good answer. Did you see that, or is that just me? Ah, shit, it left a trail. It's interesting. That's a very subtle line. I can't see that on stream. There is a teeny tiny line at the top. Yeah. Just a residue pixel type of thing. Anyways. Oh, this one loads. Ish. Doesn't give me anything, but loads ish. I don't know if that's something that you made on purpose. I think it is, but I like the breathing of the loading states for the cards. Alright then. Did I say something? Can I say something again? Can you see the difference between these two? In between these, they are all small, and then this one, the slike is bigger. So, potentially resizing it could be an option. I don't know. You have big hearts? Yeah, that's true. Can't deny that. Can't deny that. But make it bigger. Make it like a statement. At least twice as big. Fine. I got disconnected. It's fine. But yeah, that is a weird thing. I don't... Should I refresh? Guessing yes, just in case. You have content. Oh. You probably can't see that, but your scroll bar, because of what you explained, right? Because the image is taking the entirety of the background, because the scroll bar is transparent, that looks like a mistake on the sidebar section. So it looks like there is something mistaken here. I mean, not mistaken, but just, I don't know, it feels weird. But it is fancy, I agree. It is a fancy scroll bar. Oh, I've watched this one. My bad. Interesting. So the lights are fine. Dogs are fine as well. This one. Oh yeah, this one is hard. It's good to know. So Black Butler is breaking my screen at that instant. You can't see anything, and for to showcase it, can I see that? Damn it. I forgot I shouldn't I wish I could load a thing so that you can see. So right now what you can see, right, on capture, right? That's what you can see on capture. You good with that? Let me just share on Discord a thing. This is what I get right now. So as you can probably tell, the top section of my monitor is just not very good, in a not very good state. I don't understand. I don't understand how that fucking happened. It makes absolutely no sense. None. Not a singular sense is made on that thing. It shouldn't do that, but it does. And so, as always, we go back to this. Just I don't. It's so weird. It is very, very weird that some specific colors, some specific effects on some website just decide to give me burn-in immediately. It's so weird. I don't think the rave time is visible, really. I mean, a bit, but not as good as the other one. Actually, I don't know if anyone who is in the chat right now have been seeing or having issues with like LCD displays that happen to create lines. I would love to know. From my research, there are some people who say that it's because the monitor itself is too hot, and so it's true that when the AC is not running, it's kind of fine, but that shouldn't happen. And yeah, it just makes no sense to me that it's on specific things. But also, let's be clear, it happens on some. Aiden, what did you do? It happened on some color types. So I feel like it's my explanation, at least, is the Mac itself cannot compute a certain amount of color grays type of thing, and oh, you pressed control. You press control. How is it called? Slash, backslash. Blurb talk. Thanks a lot for the 50 bits. With the knock, I appreciate it. But yeah, no, it's control slash or control backslash because you're on Windows. It should bring back your panels. I think. Fuck, it didn't fix it yet. Sorry, need to go back then. It worked? Good. It fixed it, but not exactly. This one is more for rave color thing. We want to stay there. Can see the reflection in my glasses. It's fucking annoying. Get it. But yeah, so the thing that I was saying before the blur happened, on the Xiaomi one, the issue was the refresh rate was not high enough, and so I had like vibrating pixels. Fine. On the Samsung one, the most importantly, the thing that was breaking me was the curve of the screen, but it had flashes on said screen. On the Dell one that I tried, I had horizontal lines rather than vertical lines because the refresh rate was horizontal rather than vertical for some reason, and it happened on some very pale pastel colors rather than the grays, but also on some grays. And then on this one, it's, I don't know what triggers it, but some things just breaks the gray, and I can't see shit after that. I don't know, it's so weird. So weird. So I guess because it's Friday, right, we'll call Dell tomorrow again and send them to, or tell them to send me a new panels again. And if that happens, then I should be able to resell it full price as a brand new panel. I still have the box, so that's fine. And then I need to find a better monitor. But yeah, so I've tested a 23.8 inches display. It's a bit tiny compared to this one, which is 25. And I tested 227, which is a bit big, but it's fine. Like this 25 looks like a 27 to me. Like the difference is minimal, so I could potentially. That seems okay-ish. Seems okay-ish, yeah. I don't wanna reopen Black Butler though. Just in case. Just in case. Yeah, no. But if we don't have the rest of the thing that we talked about before, Stony, I don't think. Right, you don't have anything on queue here. I don't. I mean, you can't have anything on queue here, right there, right yet. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Second.
A variety of maps. You'll be able to experience all of this and more with Avatar.
Yes, Stony, that is absolutely true. That we agree. I mean, they do, but it makes weird things anyways, so. It's weird. Yeah. Fine. Yeah, keep what you have. For now. No, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Does anyone have questions? Otherwise, I need to find someone to raid because the brain is telling me there is something that doesn't work. So we'll see that next time. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing today. Can do that. Something that we haven't done in a long time. Alright. So I will send you to Hiki, Japanese streamer, so she speaks Japanese. She speaks a bit of English, but she's an illustrator, so it's chill. If you just want to listen to someone speak Japanese and there's a cute game music in the background, that's the place to be. And yeah, shorter-ish stream compared to yesterday because yesterday was overtime. But anyways, if you enjoyed the stream, please click the follow button. We want this to go up. Join the Discord if you want to get like some articles and other things, potentially, if you want to. But if you are a sub, this is the raid message for sub. If you are not a sub, this is the raid message for non-sub. As always, you can support me in another way if you want to. You don't need to sub in here. It's not necessary at all. And yeah, we'll kill that song before we go because I don't like it. And yeah, I'll be back on Monday. I hope I will have like a new monitor or something that makes sense. That is good. But yeah, basically that's it. Shorter stream-ish. It's been 4 hours, not so short, even. Cat, don't hesitate to send me messages if you need to. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you on Monday-ish. In the meantime, be kind, eat something, drink something, all that, right? Bye.